Wings over the Pyrenees. The Pyrenean mountain range is home to the most important population of bearded vultures in the western part of the Palearctic ecozone. This impressive bird of prey, also known as the lammergeier, is the only species of bird on the planet that feeds on bones, and like other very specialized animals, it is threatened with extinction. In the late 20th century, the bearded vulture disappeared from all of the Iberian Peninsula except for the Perenees, where an intense conservation effort has managed to double the population in the last 20 years. The Foundation for the Conservation of the Bearded Vulture and the regional government of Aragon are working together to keep this natural treasure from disappearing. One of the keys to the recovery of this species is supplementary feeding, which assures these birds of prey the minimum consumption of bones that they need, even during the harsh winter months. Although the much more abundant griffon vulture is usually the first to arrive on the scene, the bones are left for the bearded vultures, which are true osteophagus specialists able to eat bones whole. The plumage of the two sexes is similar, although it is easy to distinguish the adults with their orange-tinged bodies from the juveniles with their dark bodies. The subadults display a black neck. Given the great mobility of this species, the increase in the Pyrenean population may allow the bearded vulture to expand again into other territories where it became extinct decades ago. But in order for these new colonizations to be successful, scientists require detailed knowledge of their needs and, above all, of their dispersion behavior. The researchers at the Foundation for the Conservation of the Bearded Vulture have used various systems to mark close to 100 of these birds and are monitoring the individuals in detail. A combination of wing markers makes it possible to identify them in flight, and some of the birds have transmitters that allow scientists to keep track of them by radio or even by satellite. The monitoring of marked individuals over a period of more than 20 years has made it possible to gain a deeper knowledge of the bearded vulture's biology and behavior. Their reproductive system is complex. Bearded vultures not only form mating pairs, but it is even common to see trios that cooperate in reproductive tasks. At 6 months, the juveniles enter a dispersion stage throughout the Pyrenean mountain range. This stage lasts until they are at least 7 years old, when they establish themselves in a territory, but this time relatively close to where they hatched. About 50 kilometers away in the case of a female, and a little closer in the case of a male. This species doesn't usually manage to breed successfully until it is at least 10 years old. The work of the Foundation for the Conservation of the Bearded Vulture has not only achieved a deeper knowledge of this species, but it has made it possible to propose specific conservation measures. One of the most interesting conclusions to come out of this study is the desirability of providing food on the borders of their distribution area, which encourages the birds in dispersion to colonize those new territories. The bearded vulture population in the Pyrenees is growing, while the majority of the species' populations are declining in the rest of the world. Research such as this contributes to this success and makes it possible to identify the keys that can help to apply the most effective conservation measures.